Over the past 18 months, I built and scaled my sales agency to over 7 figures in revenue. I'd finally started my business after trying and failing so many business models for so long. And to the outside world, you could say that I had the perfect life. I was taking loads of trips, lived with my boys, we were traveling around the country making money. But after a while, the more that I focused on the business, and the more that I forgot about myself, I felt completely lost inside. And not in some weird gay way, because I love the daily habits, I love my daily progress, and I love the daily fulfillment. But I sacrificed everything for the business, including myself. Now, if you're watching this, you probably already make good money with your business or something else, or you're chasing the money hard right now. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is what we seek as men. That is our mission. But what I've learned from being on both sides, being the broken, desperate guy chasing the money, to actually starting to make the money and become successful, is that there's a paradox that no one talks about. And it's when you use money as your sole source of self-improvement and forget about everything else, you're never going to be satisfied and your belly's never going to be full. And in fact, it's probably going to make you regress in your own business. I've been exactly where you are. I thought that if I just make enough money, all my problems will go away and I don't have to worry about my fitness, I don't have to worry about my faith, I don't have to worry about anything else because money is all that matters. But I just realized after actually making it that this will never be enough for me. And what I want to go through in this video is how we're actually going to stand out, how we're actually going to achieve that fulfillment beyond just money, because wanting just the money alone signals a lack of self-respect, and you're worth more than that. I want to show you how to become the man who's worth so much more than money alone, and how that's going to be practical into your life and make you live a life of much more fulfillment. So in 2025, we're living in the golden era of everyone telling you that money's going to solve all your problems. All of these gurus telling you the quickest way to get to 10K a month, 100K a month. But no one's telling you how to actually stand out. No one's telling you how to actually become rare. No one's telling you how to keep up that self-improvement to make sure you're transgressing the boundaries of what you can actually achieve. Because the money alone is very shallow and it's very empty if you forget about your self-development. So this is the truth that no one else is going to tell you. So success at a certain point starts to feel empty. You feel like you finally made the money that everyone said would fix everything, but nothing's changed apart from the numbers in your bank account. You start isolating yourself from everyone else, just trying to chase more and more and more and more. And it feels like your belly is never actually full. And your whole worth gets tied to the next milestone. How am I going to make more money? How I'm going to be happy when I make 100K a month. But all of this stuff just leads to you chasing this empty, vacuous existence and letting go of all of the things that helped you even get to this point. All of the discipline you went through, all of the good habits that you built. Once you start focusing only on the business, you start to let go of these and you start to cope by telling yourself that, oh, well, now that I've got the money, I don't need to worry about anything else. And that is how you shoot yourself in the foot. That's how you ruin your quality of life. And that's why you don't feel that fulfillment, even though you've achieved your initial goals. Because you can't solve an internal problem with external solutions. The money's great. We should all make as much money as possible. But this is the way that we get as much money as possible and more whilst actually feeling fulfilled and whilst actually becoming rare. Because when you chase the money alone, you feel like nothing has really changed. You feel like, oh, I missed the time when I was more disciplined. I missed the time when my habits were locked in. Because that's what brings us fulfillment. And that, coupled with the money, is the only way we achieve true satisfaction. So you've made the money that you thought would fix everything, but it didn't. And it's kind of like a bandage solution. You think that if you just throw more money at things, you're naturally going to feel better. But that doesn't benefit you. That doesn't benefit your business. That doesn't benefit your life. You spend all your money renting or buying supercars, more cigar nights, more dinners out. All that does is it leads you to fall down in this further life of degeneracy, or this hedonism where you're just constantly looking for the next hit without focusing on yourself. So no one looks at you puffing this cigar if you're not the man worthy of the cigar. If the cigar isn't a compliment to you. No one looks at you driving the Ferrari if the Ferrari isn't a compliment to you. So the more that you just focus on all of this stuff, the more that you look like a mark. And especially when you sacrifice your diet, your training, your nutrition, your physique, all to chase more money and you get fat. No one gives you that same level of respect. And you don't have that same level of respect for yourself. I know I didn't. So it's like you're successful on paper, but you don't feel like you've accomplished that much. And monetary success, it takes a lot of struggle. It takes a lot of turmoil. It takes you getting really good at skills. And that's how it felt for me. It was like, I'm putting in so much work. Why don't I feel satisfied? But it's because you let your physique go. You've either gotten skinny or you've gotten fat, because who cares about the gym if you're making money? And I see so much of this stuff online, but it's such a cop-out. It's a cop-out to not become fully competent and not become fully rare. Most people, they think that if they're just successful in one area, then that's it, they've made it. But that's so much further from the truth, because as men, we have duty to become fully competent, and that's why you never feel fulfilled. It's that constant chase of making more money to fill the void of actually developing yourself. Like, there's the nerd with the cigar who you don't respect, and then there's the guy who's earned the cigar who you think, wow, that looks cool. And you ride off the dopamine from your business, and you don't really do much else. I remember, like, I'd be in the gym for half an hour. I never fully left the gym, but I'd be there, like, typing on my phone, like, trying to sort all the stuff from the next day, not focusing on my sets, and wondering why I was getting out of shape. It's because I prioritized the business above all else. Leads to you isolating yourself and sacrificing your family time and your relationship with God. I'd always see things as unimportant and push them to the back. And that's one of the worst things you can do, because the reason you've even got out to go and get this money is to better yourself, is to provide a better life for the people around you. And it's to show gratitude to God and spread his word and become truly faithful to him. And when you turn your back on these things, they come back to bite you, because you've not done it to just become successful on your own. It's a very empty system. It's a very empty existence. When every time I've gone out and made money on my own, I've always been thinking, oh, I wish I was with these people. I wish I was with these people. And the more that you focus on the business and push them away, the less satisfied you're going to be. What shall it cost a man to gain the world but sacrifice his soul in the process? We want to keep our soul intact. We want to actually develop our soul, develop our relationships, and not sacrifice the very things that motivated us in the first place. You tie your worth to your next milestone. Like, I remember my first 10K. All right, 10K, I'm going to make that. Now 20K, now 100K. And it's great to get this continued progress, and it's great to achieve these milestones. But sometimes it's cope for not becoming actually successful, because your attachment only to monetary desires signals a lack of self-respect. You're worth more than the money alone. And when you focus on your self-development, you become worth more than the money alone. You're worth more than an Italian car marked up to 500K by some random manufacturer. That's it. You want to buy an SF90? Great. You're worth more than that. And if you focus on the self-development, the car becomes a compliment to you. And when you put that car above yourself, one, either you'll never get it, or you'll never be satisfied when you're in it. And it sends you down a spiral thinking like, I've got everything I wanted. Why am I not successful? And that's why you see like these celebrities, like they're never truly satisfied, because they thought that the money alone was it. That's the end goal, but it's not the end goal. Every single day is the end goal in putting that purpose first. You'd want to be chasing your purpose, earning your purpose every single day, and living out your dreams on a daily basis. You can't solve an internal problem with external solutions, because we often think that money is going to serve as a means of gratification and satisfaction, but all that money is actually a tool. It's actually a tool to do the things that mean the most to us and create the most impact and live the most fulfillment. But when you only focus on this next figure, you're never going to feel that true satisfaction. Now, we all want money for the similar reasons. We want to prove people wrong. We want to get access to better things. We want to gain power, influence, status. But all the money without the development signals more weakness. When you look at the streamers, Neon, Aiden Ross, these are the people that actually attract gold diggers and people that use them. Because when you look at two different people, when you look at like Tate, and yes, he's got loads of money, but he's actually respectable and he can fight and he's in great shape. These kind of people you respect because they're worth more than the money. People can smell that aura on you, and money becomes a bonus. No amount of money is going to fill the void of competency. That's just the simple truth. And money isn't going to be a bandage for your lack of discipline, your lack of physique, your lack of maturity. You want to be having your interactions with people where they leave that interaction like, wow, that guy's actually the G. That guy's actually the man. That guy knows his stuff. That guy's impressive. That's where that's what we're chasing. Now, the things that actually matter is the things that money can't buy. Because we can all get the things that money can buy. That's easy once we lock in long enough on a skill. But what about the things that money can't buy? Now, I went to Dubai when I made my first £8,000 in a month, and I rented a Ferrari, and I went to go meet this Russian millionaire, Victor. And he asked me, what do I want? What do I want out of life? He sat me down, he said, what problem am I solving? And I said, oh, I don't know, I just came for dinner. And then he said, what do you want out of life? And I was like, oh, I want a Ferrari, I want to move to Dubai, I want to retire my parents. And he said, no, you'll get that. What do you actually want? And that made me realize, like, I was focusing so much on what money could buy instead of focusing on what it couldn't buy. And I didn't really, like, the way that I was when I was speaking to him, he could tell my mindset wasn't there. He could tell I was quite immature, only focusing on the material goods. And then I had to go walking around Dubai for the next couple hours and writing down the things I actually did want. He made me think bigger. I was thinking in terms of like 1M. He was like, no, he wants like billions. I was like, right, I want 10 million. I've not got 10 million now, but it was a good goal to set. And then I had to start writing these things down that I actually wanted. I want the success of me and my brother to be known worldwide. I want to spread a positive message. This was in 2023, January. I want to own a penthouse in Dubai with my brothers around me and all of our women. I want to become full circle and sharpen myself up in all aspects to be able to give advice and speak with full conviction. These are the things that matter. When I sat down with Victor, his own self-development shone out to me because his whole aura was just impenetrable. He was a very smart, knowledgeable guy, and because of that, I felt that he actually stayed true on his self-development, and that was genuinely impressive. This was a dinner, I had to pay for it. It was like £300, and that was a lot of money to me at the time. But yeah, our character, our purpose, our faith, and our legacy is actually what creates sustained success and fulfillment. We want the faith, we want the brotherhood, we want the best physique. We want to be able to actually help people with our mission and what we do every single day. And let this legacy be spoken about for generations. Let this pass on to our kids. Let this pass on to everyone around us. That's what creates a sustained success. Not just getting the supercar and being a nerd. That is genuinely selfish, and it's a lack of self-respect. Because when you've got the supercar, but you're the man. When you've got the supercar, but you're spreading a good message. When you've got the supercar and people look at you, get out of it, and they're already thinking, wow, at the car. And then they see you get out, and they're like, double wow. That is genuinely satisfying, okay? Now, I tried to become rich before becoming the man who could actually attain success. And that's why I didn't have the self-respect to stay on top of my physique. That's why I let my relationships and my faith slip. And that's why I attached my own identity only to the growth of my business, which slowed down my business growth anyway. I got so lost in the business, and I got so lost with this fake sense of authority leading a team of like 30 people, that there was a bunch of supply constraints that came up. And I was so obsessed with money and dependent on the money that I didn't want to sacrifice the short-term money I was getting now to create long-term success, because there was clients that were paying us for our sales on the door-to-door agency, and they were screwing us, and they were really incompetent, and they couldn't fulfill all of our deals. And I wasn't thinking of a solution because I trusted them, and it led to our team not getting paid for ages. This 7 figures of revenue that we generated, a lot of it went to crap because we didn't fix the fulfillment quick enough, and a lot of the deals died. That was my fault. By becoming so overly obsessed with the business that I didn't focus on my self-development. If I was in the gym more, if I was closer to God, I would have found a solution better, because I would have had more self-respect. I would have looked around and been like, wait, what's going on? We're getting screwed. So many of you guys are chasing money, but you're not giving yourself the permission to be truly successful. My sales team didn't look at me with the optimal respect they should have, because I wasn't complete. I was still fat. I was getting out of shape. My words didn't carry as much weight. So success with money is just the first step, but you're not giving yourself the permission to become truly rare. Like, you're scared to stand out and become the full package. The only way that we actually become the full package is by putting our character first. The character first protocol. It doesn't mean making less money. It's about making the money mean something. It means actually becoming worthy of it and able to enjoy it. So you want to attach your worth to your daily habits and your identity, rather than just your business growth or your revenue figures. Because the more that you focus on the habits anyway, the better you'll become as a person and the more money you'll make. And the character that you build will be unbreakable and long lasting. You want to track your character development through a 5-4-5 method. So you want to set 5 goals to achieve over the next 3 to 6 months. A 4-step morning routine. I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day because I don't want to do it. And I know that I can get such a head start on everyone else. And it really gives me that edge. So a 4-step morning routine. I wake up, I pray, I read my Quran, I do 50 push-ups, I make my bed. That's 5 steps, but I've superseded the 4. Then 5 daily tasks that I'm going to include every single day. I used to set myself like 50 tasks when I was running my sales agency, and that's when I lost myself, because I didn't give myself time to breathe. Now I do less tasks, but I do them more focused, and I actually move the needle forward in my business, and I feel way more fulfilled. So this is all nice stuff. This is making money, going out for nice dinners, all that kind of stuff. But when you shift from money driven to purpose driven, you end up making more money as a result. And when I hit this first 14k month profit, that's when I was in Saudi. I was praying to God. I was doing Umrah, because the more that you focus on the fulfillment anyway, the more I was getting back in the gym. I'd started my 4 a.m. wake ups, and I was praying to God more deeply. And I wasn't so focused on just the business. And the more that I focused on my own development, the more money I made, the better decisions I was able to make, and the more legacy I was able to build. So we want to create a meaningful outcome beyond just the money alone, becoming that role model and helping everyone around us create legacy. Become that role model, become that shining example, and build purpose beyond just yourself. That's how we create true fulfillment. So if you're tired of feeling empty despite all of your monumental achievements, and you actually want to take your mind, your body, your soul to the next level, I do work with a small group of like-minded entrepreneurs trying to go from profitable to purposeful, actually trying to become the complete man. So if you want to know how my elite clients are doing this to actually better themselves in every single metric and become the man who stands out and is worth more than money, there's a Calendly link in my bio to see if you guys can qualify for coaching. Also, check out my Instagram if you want to see the stuff that I'm doing on a day-to-day. Every morning, I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm posting my push-ups, I'm posting my development throughout the day, and you guys can get a bit more of a glimpse as to how I'm actually building that fulfillment every single day. But thank you for watching, boys. I love you. Keep pushing. Let's become rare.